Welcome to Local Living Tri-City, your go-to podcast for exploring the vibrant communities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee. Join me, Liz Jones, as we dive into real estate insights and local business stories, bringing you closer to the heart of our Tri-City area. Let's get started with today's episode. Hello, everyone. I am Liz Jones with our next episode of Local Living, and with me today is a dear friend. This is Bridgette Moore, and she is our current mayor for Wildomar, and you have served, we were just talking about it, 16 years.
Yes. So we incorporated it at July 1st, 2008, and I have been on council for 16 years
No
now.
kidding. I didn't know that. So I do remember a story. I attend Cornerstone, which is in Wildomar.
So do I.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
We have to run into each other. It's such a big church. Anyway, one of the things I remember is Pastor Ron, back then, Armstrong, was talking about Wildomar becoming a city.
Yes.
Could you give us a little backdrop of what that was? What were you before, how it formed, and how it took life?
Yes. So we were unincorporated county. So we were just part of the county. Our governance was a Riverside County Board. We had a local, they called it a MAC, a Municipal Advisory Council, that met at the Wildomar Library, and so residents could attend there. And that advised the then supervisor, Bob Buster, of issues going on in Wildomar. There was a groundswell of residents that wanted to incorporate, see if we incorporate it into our own city. There were many studies we had to do. We had to raise money. So I joined the Wildomar Incorporation Now committee that had formed. And so we were able to prove to the county that we could become a city on our own. And we had to go to vote. And so July 1st, we actually voted in March, but our incorporation date was July 1st, 2008.
That's great. So that takes a lot. So you have to basically say, we have people willing to step up and manage. We have budgets that we can live up to. And then I would imagine Riverside looks at what those numbers are, what the revenue would come in, how you incorporate where you have your offices set up, and how the people would be represented.
Yes.
So now, obviously, that probably doesn't cover, because I know Murrieta has its own fire and police, but that wouldn't be the case in Wildomar yet. You manage still with county?
Yes. Well, we contract with Riverside County Sheriffs, and we contract with CAL FIRE for fire.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. Well, Wildomar has changed. For those of you, I came into the Valley in 2001, and Wildomar was kind of the other city. So I fall on one of the northern borders in Murrieta off Clinton Keith Road. And it borders right up to Wildomar. And I think you guys got gypped. I think Bear Creek should have probably been part of Wildomar.
It was.
It's like a line drawn around
Bear Creek was Wildomar.
Oh,
and then the
gosh.
developer at the time voted to join Murrieta. So Bear Creek was more. That's why that little jag right there.
That was kind of a squeeze play right there.
Before it became a city.
So we were talking a little bit about the environment and how a city derives its income to support its residents.
Yes.
So back in 2001, obviously there's a lot of folks that really loved the rural feel of Wildomar. There's many people still do.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, I remember you guys put in beautiful horse trails and hike trails along
Grand.
It was Grand?
Yeah.
Grand, and it's beautiful. It's still maintained beautifully there. You're on the foothills of the mountain. Many of your residents are there. I've seen a lot of new building going in, and they're all, single family residents. You've had some development along the Clinton Keith corridor of restaurants and small businesses.
Yes.
You have, obviously, we talked about Inland Valley being there, and we have the shopping centers right across from that. Costco falls all the way up, Clinton Keith falls into Murrieta.
Yes.
So where does your border fall?
We're around Coppercraft. So if you're on Clinton Keith going east, then you have Coppercraft. And then going west, we're at Grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a beautiful little town village that really is thriving, and the residents really love it there.
Yes.
So getting back to how revenue is driven, so where do you develop revenue to run a city?
So we receive a portion. I know a lot of people, our residents feel like we get all of the property tax, but we do not. So they pay their property tax to the county.
Right.
The county then doles us back our small portion of that property tax. We also have sales tax. So the sales tax, we received 1 penny. So it was 7.75%. We get 1 penny. But then the residents did vote in a 1 cent sales tax increase. So we received 2 pennies off every
Every
dollar.
So what's important for everybody to understand is the
It's small.
budget, the budget that any city has operates from a minutia of your property taxes,
Yes.
right? So if you're a city made up of all homes and no businesses, you have a minutia to run your budget. So there's not much there.
Right.
It's really thin. So now you add businesses into play.
Yes.
Small businesses bring small sales tax dollars, and therefore there's 2 pennies out of every dollar
Yes.
spent that comes back to the budget.
Yes.
So in some cases, like just scope. So Temecula is known for a lot of car dealerships. Big ticket items. So 1 or 2 pennies out of every dollar is a huge number. Or hotels.
Yes.
1 or 2 pennies is a huge, or more hotels. When you think about it, they have actually a traveler's tax that come in.
Yes.
So there's more money in those cities to run its government and to give back to its residents. And then you have precious Wildomar. So Wildomar has a tinier budget. Now, I've seen change that has occurred. And I know that doesn't come without pain, because the people that live there, that have been there forever, want it to stay just the way it is. And then there are more progressive thoughts about what Wildomar could be and what areas are sacred to homeowners, and then also what areas should be given into businesses. So tell me about some of the changes that have come in the businesses there.
So, well, I would say our largest business will be the Inland Valley. So Inland Valley is doing a $333 million expansion. Should be done around 25, 26. And we need it like yesterday, but it is coming. We're the only trauma center south of Riverside City. So this is needed for our community. Kaiser too, because I said like the glasses, right? That sales tax. So Kaiser coming in. That's also now, and it's also jobs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But it is to balance that, what our residents want that have been here a long time. We have farms. We have gorgeous ranches off Clint Keith and Grand. Right? They're just amazing estate density zoning. So balancing that with the new things. But if we want more roads fixed, maintained, and we want more amenities for our community, we do need that sales tax also. So there's constant this balance.
That's great. Now, how many people serve on a city council?
So we have 5 members.
Okay.
And although we were small, there was an attorney that was going around to different cities in the state of California threatening to sue if you didn't go to districts. So we are in districts. We do feel like we're too small.
You have 1 district?
5.
You have 5 districts in that little tiny part of.
Yes.
So you divide into 5 different parts.
Yes.
Ooh.
I know.
Okay, some more complexity.
Yes.
Okay. How many residents live in Wildomar?
37,000.
Wow, it's growing.
It is growing.
And how has that seen growth over the last few years?
It's not growing too fast, which I think is good. But we are growing.
1% a year, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
And we've added a lot of restaurants in. Now, I mean, there's never enough restaurants for people like me, but what are some of the restaurants that opened up, and some that are thriving, some that have been there forever?
So Angelo's, I think you've heard of Angelo's, they're definitely thriving. They came in, how many years now? 4 or 5 years ago. They came in, but one of our newest restaurants is One Bite Dumpling.
Dumpling.
And we're hearing,
that's right.
Yes, we're hearing rave reviews and that people are coming from Corona. They're coming down.
Goodness. I haven't tried it, and it's right down the street from me. I need to.
Yes.
And then forget about it.
Forget about it.
That's just too.
And that made history as our first wine bar in Wildomar.
Oh my gosh.
And so we just did the grand opening for that last week.
Oh, that's fun. That's so fun. So there's lots of great restaurants that people can enjoy there. Obviously, lots of new growth. We talked about the builders that are coming in, KB Homes.
Yes.
And I think KB was on one side of the freeway by Cornerstone. Was it Lennar?
We have Lennar and we have new homes. They're almost, I think, sold. They're on Grand and McVicker. And they did a replica of the Brown House. We have David A. Brown House, was a long time past member of our community, and he had the water tower, which at one time they moved the Brown House over. Over to where the Kaiser is now.
Oh, wow.
And on that, next to that Kaiser, is supposed to be a hotel. We're getting our first hotel.
That's right.
And that's supposed to be 25 also.
For those of you, that's you get a tax dollar from, and what do they call that?
Travel tax.
Travel tax. Okay, so when you have hotels, and that's why there's so many in Temecula, it's a lot of money. So people come, they stay, and from every night's stay, you get a little tax that comes back directly to the city.
Yes.
So that's a good revenue for you guys.
Yes. And the hotel's 26. I said 25, but it's 26.
26. So you can see that growth is needed. And I know a lot of people fight it.
Yeah.
It is a balancing.
It is a
You're right.
balancing act.
Because you've got a lot of people that say, I don't want it to grow. And a lot of people say, well, you're going to die if you don't grow.
Like a
Balance.
hotel we had a couple years ago, a leak in our home, and our water was turned off for a couple of days. We needed a hotel. We couldn't even stay in our city. Or if our family wants to come from out of
That's a
town,
good
we
point.
can't stay in our own city. So we do need this hotel.
Yeah. And it's not like we're going to have Hotel Row now. It's
No.
just, yeah.
Everything has a study,
Right.
and we did a study, and we could support 3 hotels. So that's the max.
That's great. That's great. So I know you to be an active community partner. So that's one of the things that I know and love about you. In fact, we met each other when you invited me to serve at a homeless shelter and feed. And what was the name of that one?
It was the Anchor. It's in Lake
The
Elsinore through Swag.
Yes, right. So you were kind enough to introduce me to that, and we did that a couple of times together, and that was a precious gift. Thank you very much. But you are known for serving in your community.
Yeah.
In fact, at the gala the other night, you were nominated. What was your nomination for?
I believe it was Volunteer of the Year.
Volunteer of the Year, which is great. And that's not the first time I've seen you on the ballot in the Murrieta Chamber.
Yeah.
So congratulations
Thank you.
on that nomination.
Thank you.
When it comes to some of your favorite projects that you work with in the city of Wildomar, tell me a little bit about some of your favorite ones.
Well, I started my own nonprofit. I was already volunteering for plenty. I volunteer for the Wildomar Rotary Club, and we have a VFW in Wildomar, the Elks Lodges in Wildomar. But wanted to do something for parks. Parks is my passion. And so it's a Wildomar Community and Parks Foundation. And then right now, one of our biggest programs is the Wildomar Beautification Volunteers. So we have volunteers out almost every day cleaning in Wildomar. So picking up litter,
Wow.
weeds, cleaning graffiti, and then we're branching out now and helping senior citizens and veterans.
I love that. In-home care or going to their house.
Their yards.
Their yards.
Yes, so we have elderly women, and the
Yes.
husband passes away, and now you have this big yard to take care of. And we're actually going to a woman's home next week, and we've been to her house a couple because then it comes back.
It comes back.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a little maintenance next week. So yeah, just branching out and helping the community where we can. We really become a resource for
Right.
the community. We had a teacher that was moved into Wildomar, and her husband was very sick. We got a referral, so we went out and helped her unload the truck.
Oh my gosh, that's
Welcome
great.
to Wildomar. We helped you unload your truck.
How does someone know to call your organization? Is it just word of mouth right now?
Yeah, it's really word of mouth.
Wow.
Yeah, since a lot of the volunteers are retired, so this is their passion now,
Mm.
giving them something to do, and they love it. And we're more than just picking up. That's what I say. It's more than just litter, because we're meeting new friends, and now we go to lunch and we go out and we do other things besides just
That makes sense.
volunteering. Really become like family. So
How big is your tribe now?
I would say dedicated around 30 this every day, but
that's
for
incredible.
this year we're over 300 volunteers.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, because Earth Day was really, really big. We actually, this Saturday is National Cleanup Day.
Well, tell me about both. I'd love to
Okay.
hear. Since Saturday is National Cleanup, tell me about that event.
Yeah, so it's National Cleanup Day. You know,
Right.
you start doing these things, you find these national days. And so we did it. This will be our third time because we started in 2020. So this will be our third event. And so we invite volunteers to come down. We're going to be at the Elks Lodge, 7
Right.
a.m., receive your beautification assignment. We're going to work on Grand. So we're
Mm-hmm.
going to give you streets, this section of Grand, next section of Grand,
Love
and do weeds and litter and trim back bushes, that multi-use trail.
Yeah.
So make sure the multi-use trail is clean from Corydon to Clinton Keith,
That's
three
great.
miles.
That's beautiful. That's a great crew. And then tell me about Earth Day.
Oh, so Earth Day was amazing. We had 200 volunteers alone on that day. When we had 150 register like the night before, and then 50 more walk-ins, and we were just overwhelmed and getting everyone checked in. But we did it. Everyone was checked in. We wanted everyone to be out by 8 o'clock, and they were. We looked at the clock, 7:59. Everyone's on their assignment.
Wow.
So it worked out well.
What about what kind of activities do people do on the Earth Day?
Same thing, cleaning. Yes, that day we did have a veteran also, and so we put some of the volunteers on his yard and helped him also that day.
That's wonderful. Well, so you have a team that helps you spearhead with who needs help, where to go,
Yeah.
task these people out,
Yes.
and then cycle through
So
your
we have-
volunteers regularly.
We have a website, and then we have a Facebook page, and then the word of mouth. So through all those, we get the referrals of who needs help.
That's really awesome.
Yes.
That's really awesome. Well, one of the things I know is from what you've told me is that every so often the city council members serve a full term,
Mhm.
and then it now forces them to be reelected into their positions. And I think you are facing such a term right now that
Yes.
you're up for reelection again.
I am for reelection. So you're elected for 4 years,
Correct?
right? And there's 5 of us, and then we rotate the title of mayor pro tem. So last year I was mayor pro tem under Joseph Morbido as our mayor, and then now I'm mayor. Now Ashley DiFilippo is our mayor pro tem. So it rotates like that. But if you have 5 council members, you're only on for 4 years. Someone isn't in that rotation unless you are reelected, and then you're now have a chance to be a mayor.
So from what I understand, you'd like to try this again.
I
you?
would. I know. Some people are think I'm crazy, but I feel like I'm not done serving. I love serving my community, and I am out there every day.
Sounds like
serving.
you've been very effective
Very
in
effective.
serving the community. You've got growth. You've got people moving to the town. You've got a clean town. You've got the best health care probably around, serving Temecula, Murrieta, Wildomar, even Lake Elsinore, because
Yes.
that's where they're coming from
Yes.
to go to that medical. You've got a growth in your small businesses, and you're working all on a shoestring budget.
Yes, and then even council members, we only receive $400 a month.
Oh,
So-
it's a stipend, yeah.
It's just a stipend to pay your gas to drive to the different meetings or your dry cleaning
Yeah.
bill.
It makes you feel
Yes.
good that you got something for
Mhm.
your service, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's definitely something from the heart. That's for sure when
Definitely.
you serve.
So the governor, because this is based on the states,
Mhm.
right? This is the state is how we get paid. They set the rates. So we received $300 when we first started, and then when we reached 35,000 residents is when we were up to $400. Our next bump wouldn't have been until 50,000 residents, and we're a long way to reaching 50,000 residents. But the governor did just change it. He has not changed the rate since the 80s, since I was in high school.
Yeah.
So come January, because it's after the next election, actually the rate will be $12.75. So
Yeah.
it does triple.
I heard that Temecula gets a whopping $600 a month. So
Yeah, they have
you
more
don't do it.
residents.
You don't do it for
Yes.
the money.
Yes.
Clearly, you don't do it for the money.
Right.
But so you give a lot of your time. What does that look like when you guys are serving on city council? Are there lots of hours a month that you're doing city work, planning work? Do you have a city manager? All of
Yes,
those things?
yes.
Do you manage people? What does that look like?
So the city council is responsible for hiring the city manager and the city attorney.
Mhm.
We set policy and we set the budget.
Wow.
And so through that budget is where then the city manager does the tasks. So if we say we want to hire 2 more code enforcement officers, it's in the budget, then therefore he goes and fills those vacancies through that budget
Wow.
process.
Wow. That's beautiful. Well, it sounds like you guys really have it dialed in for a new city, a young city. It's like you're a teenager here, really, at
Yes.
16 years old.
That's what we're saying, it's 16.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's great. Well, if somebody wants to learn more about what your policy, your personal policy is running Wildomar, what would they do to go? Do you have a website?
Yes, BridgetteMoore2024.com.
That's awesome. So they can
Yes.
learn more there.
Yes.
And if you had to say something you want people to know personally about you, I mean, I think that's probably the hardest thing I can think of in my world is tell me something personal about Liz. I don't know. I don't want to talk. But if it were comfortable, what would be one thing you want people to know about you?
Well, my husband and I are going to be celebrating our 30th anniversary on October 1st.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Woohoo.
Yes.
That's no minor accomplishment.
No minor
alone.
accomplishment.
Wow.
And so since I'm mayor right now, running for reelection, we're going to celebrate next year. We're taking a trip in February.
Oh, that's
So
great.
when the year's over.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, one of the things I can see is that you're a community servant, right?
Mm.
You show commitment to what you start.
Yes.
That's beautiful. And you're fully present for the people that you love in your community. And that doesn't stop at the borders of Wildomar. I can see that it expands well beyond that.
Yes.
So, and you've got a good spirit.
Thank you.
So, well, I truly hope that this is successful for you. I'm
Thank you.
really excited to have this opportunity to interview you, let everyone out there
Thank
know a little
you.
bit
Thank
more
you.
about you. And November's right around the corner.
Yes,
So-
I think we're like 50 days.
Oh gosh. I think we'll all be happier when all the elections are done everywhere.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So I think we can all get back to just living and taking care of
Yes.
each other.
Yes,
So,
I agree.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Bridget,
you.
for
Thank
being
you.
here. Thank you, everyone, for this episode of Local Living. And until the next time.
Thank you for listening to Local Living Tri-City. Stay tuned for more insights and stories from Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, and surrounding areas. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a friend that is passionate about the Tri-City area as you are. Goodbye for now, and we'll see you next episode.